This is Nachibuka Sanyi Solomon. I This is my visualization that I was able to create through the data-driven documentation, which is the D3 library. I came up with a stacked bar plot, and for stacked bar plot, they used to compare categorical variables. This is where we are. We have radios, bicycles, motorcycle, and mosquito nets against the the number of assets on the y-axis. Then I created a histogram. A histogram is used to visualize quantitative data. So we have household assets, which are radios, bicycles, that we are using. Then I came up with a scatter plot. This also shows our distribution of I selected number of radios amongst the number of households. Then I also came up with a line graph, but this was showing different regions, the number of assets that are there, and these assets were referring to the radios, mosquito nets, motorcycles, and bicycles in these households as of 2014. Then I also created a pie chart. The pie chart is showing us different slices and how they are represented. So we see that in the eastern region, when you look at the total number of bicycles, eastern region had 30%, 30.7. The northern region had 25.7, which is represented by the green slice. The central region has 22.7%, represented by the blue slice, and western region, represented by 21.0, took up 21.0 with the orange slice. So I also wanted to compare that relationship to see the relationship between the number of bicycles in the region and the number of motorcycles in the region. So this is how it came out. The northern region in this took on red, northern region in this took on orange. The bicycles were 25.7% representation, and the motorcycles were 28.6. The eastern region had 30% of the bicycles, and when it comes to motorcycles, they had 14.5. The western that was given red had 21.0 as compared to the motorcycles that were 22.6%. Then the central region had the biggest number of motorcycles, that was 34.3% as compared to the number of bicycles, which is 22.7%. I also created a pack bubble chart. This one I used clusters, the pack layout, and the bubble layout. The cluster layout is our root node. They are the big circles, these big circles, and I named them northern. You see that northern, it has that figure 2,605,284 household assets. Same to central. Central had this is our central, and it had 4 million of the household assets. Then western, it had 3 millions. Then Eastern had 38, it has 3,486,628 household assets. When you look at these clusters have small lymph nodes, and the lymph nodes are the districts found inside the inside the root node. The root node is the big circle, and the small circle are the lymph nodes, and these lymph nodes are representing various districts that we have found. So what did I use to come up with that big circles, small circles? So it was through the use of the radius. So this radius helped me to display numerical values. So as when it because this data set that I was using, it had the number of household assets per district. So that is what I used here. The big circles, why are some circles very big? Now you see Central is bigger, followed by Western. It's because of the totals. The total number of assets was dictating total number of assets in the of the household assets was bigger in the Central as compared to the North. So that is how we came to have the smaller lymph nodes inside there. Is the total number of household assets. If a region has very few household assets, the smaller the circle will be. The bigger the household assets, the bigger the circle. The bigger the totals of the smaller of the household assets, the bigger the cluster layout, which was given gray color. So when I zoom out, and let's look at the Central, we can see Wakiso and Kampala have had the biggest number of household assets, mosquito nets, radios, motorcycle, and bicycles. So we see a smaller one, Leatonde, Buvuma, Kalangala. There are few. You find fewer mosquito nets in households. You find very few people that have bicycles in their households. Very few people have motorcycles in their households. So that is our pack and bubble chart. That same applies to the other regions too. Let's zoom out to the northern region. This is it. In the northern region, we have Oluke, Abim, Napak. They have smaller Moyo, Lamo. It's because of the little numbers of household assets found in those regions. So, and then was able to create a tree map. And a tree map, a tree map was helped me to come up with a hierarchical distribution. So with this, we look at the children nodes. We have a parent node, which is Uganda. Then we have a child node. We have the Central, Eastern, Northern, and Western. These were the regions that I used to represent. Then under the child nodes, a child has a child. This brings us to a nested hierarchy. So we have a child who is a northern region, has a child, another child. Yeah. So here, this is the visualization I was able to come out. Then I went ahead and tried to create a D3 dashboard. I tried to put all these visualizations in one page. So started with a histogram, came with a bar plot, represented a scatter plot, came up with a line graph, then the pie, that's our pie chart. I have a second pie that is showing the relationships. So this we can see the representation as two slices that are there, the pack and bubble representation, the clusters, the bubbles. So that is it. Then a tree layout. That is the end. Thank you.